Welcome to more of Katawa Shoujo, Lynx here, and I guess we have to attend the track meet today. Let's see, will we meet Amy's mother again? Maybe. But, well, most of all, probably we'll spend some time with Rin. Anyway, the morning of the track meet greets me with a brilliant sunshine from a crystal blue sky. Nice. While I leisurely stroll towards the track, I decide this is a good sign. Of what I'm not sure, this event isn't as exciting for me as seems to be for a large portion of the student body. Understandable. Now that I think about it, even there was running competition, nobody would care. I feel like football competition, at least in my primary school and middle school, were the things that, people go out and kind of cheer for. Yeah. I think especially in middle school, because we had a proper, gym. So you could organize an indoor tournament and so on. That was cool, seeing people, from other classes come and watch Lynx winning the tournament. Anyway, I'm even less interested in watching sports than I'm participating, but cheering for Emmy is a good cause. I'm not expecting this to be any sort of amazing and spectacular experience, but it can't hurt. I'd probably be spending the time reading while cooped up in my room otherwise. When I approach the bleachers, I spot Rin emerging from the crowd right before she spots me. You came. Of course. I said I would, didn't I? That doesn't necessarily imply that you had to follow through. Lots of people say things and don't mean them. Well, I don't. Rin shrugs, seemingly bored with our conversation. She turns on her heel and heads back towards the stands. Did you place bets again if I appear or not? So, are you excited about this? Not really. Me neither. Then why did you come? Why did you? She didn't reply at all, so I decided not to either. We enter the bleachers, and Rin nods upwards. Up there. Rin leads the way, and soon we've settled down on an almost empty bench. So we do meet her. There is an older woman sitting next to Rin, someone's mother, I assume. She's got rather long hair, done up in a braid. On seeing Rin, she gives her an oddly familiar seeming grin. Well, this is surprising. I thought you went to get a snack, not a boy. Huh? This is no good. The woman laughs at Rin and shakes her head, apparently unable to find a comeback for that. I know the feeling. Well, I suppose you've always been one to go out for one thing and drink another. But I'm being rude. I haven't introduced myself. I'm Meiko Ibarazaki. I'm sure that if you know this girl, you've at least met my daughter too. Pleased to meet you. Well, that explains it. She's like a taller, older, more motherly Emmy. Apart from her hair being somewhat darker than her daughter's, there's really no mistaking the resemblance. To be fair, the fact that, her hair are lighter... No, her hair are darker than Emmy's. Might be because Emmy spent so much time in the sun, right? Surprisingly enough, just sun can light down, make your hair lighter, basically. Anyway, sorry. I'm Hisao Nakai. Nice to meet you. I'm Rin Tezuka. Miss Ibarazaki laughs again. She really does resemble her offspring, and then leans back a little on her seat and raises an eyebrow. So, now that we all know each other, how long have you and Rin been dating? Huh? Chattamante, what did you just say? My response causes of silence as my brain suddenly lurches into the gear, but just before I can begin to utter a hastily babbled explanation, Emmy's mother bursts into laughter again. You really blusher, aren't ya? I don't know if there's any way to keep my dignity in this situation, so I settle for a mumbled response. We do not. I know, but it's funny to watch you squirm. I'm sorry. Forgive an older woman her amusements. She chuckles again to herself. Old woman. She sure doesn't look that old to me. I suppose I can let it go, yeah. How kind of you. It's starting. I direct my attention to the track, where they are preparing for the first sprint. It looks like the 400-meter dash. My eyes scan the runners before finding Emmy. And right behind her, is my classmate. The one that we actually barely spoken to, but we did. Anyway, she's smiling with an almost cocky look on her face. You know what? I'm hungry. The starter raises his pistol. And off they go. Emmy Is that Frederica there? Emmy explodes off the block, disappearing from the starting line in a blur. It's amazing. Even as the other sprinters converge on the lanes closest to the inside line, Emmy surges to the front of the pack. By the time she rounds the final turn, a few of the other runners have caught up with her. But she puts on a final burst of speed that leaves them at least a half a second behind. Miss Ibarazaki whoops and shouts, applauding wildly, and John looking like any other parent cheering on their child. Where does that happen, I wonder? Because I only remember not really cheering coming from parents when I was still playing football. Have I mentioned the story where I at some point snapped and said, "Shut the freak up"? I was like 13 or 14. I literally just said that while I was next to, like, you know, bleachers where parents were sitting, basically. And I don't remember. It might have been my father or someone else's father that said something. And I just, you know, eventually bursted out. And they finally, you know, stopped. Anyway. Of course, for one game, not the next one. It was the repeated situation, but yeah. Emmy bounced off the track, looking pleased with herself. Also, can we just have a look at the form of the girl that is in third place? Looks kinda... I don't know, like, not really running one? Anyway, I cheer right along with the rest of them. I'm not mistaken. I mean, people run in kind of different ways, right? The announcer, sounding suspiciously like Misha, gleefully gives the results. I mean, Misha would do it as a... yeah, she would do good as an announcer. She's lively, so of course. I think she's gotten faster since last time. That was incredible. Miss Ibarazaki grins proudly. Miss heck of a runner. We fall silent as the next event prepares to start. I'm surprised to see Emmy riding out on the track again. Wait. Didn't she just run? Emmy's mother nods. Yeah, but she runs multiple events for the team, especially the sprints. It's a lot of running, but Emmy can handle it. From the looks of things, she's right. Emmy doesn't appear to be tired, as she hadn't run the previous event at all. If not for the sweat visible on her shirt, you'd never know. Which event is this? It's the 200-meter dash. She'll do this one, the 100, and the relay. I see. Yeah. That's a lot, right? I think I was going... Was I going... Yeah, I was only going on running events in primary school. And I freaking hated them. I mean, I do running for my own good, kind of. but the competitions just didn't work for me. I couldn't get the motivation for that at all. For football I had that, for running not. Once again the pistol sounds, and once again Amy flies off the block. A thumping sound draws my attention away from the race. It's Rin's foot. She's completely absorbed in the race. Amy's mother cheers again, and I assume that the race is over. Sprints don't seem to me like they'd take very long to complete. Yeah. Your foot. Huh? Your foot was bouncing on the bleachers. Oh. You seem pretty into this stuff. I'm surprised. I thought you said this wouldn't be exciting. I suppose you're right. It's not that interesting. But I'm watching Amy, not the sport. I'll follow. Amy's the most Amy when she runs. You don't get to see Amy at her Amiest very often. But here you can. See? She directs my attention toward the track again, where the 100-meter dash is about to start. I watch Amy closely. As she gets onto the starter blocks, her whole body seems to relax, but it's a false relaxation. I can see that she's actually like a coiled spring. As the starter tells everyone to get set, her head snaps up and her eyes narrow slightly. Her mouth curves upward in what could be a grin and could be a growl. When the pistol goes off, it's as she's been unleashed from a cage. Like she was Like she was always moving at this blinding speed, but we couldn't see it happening until the starter's pistol dispelled the illusion of motionlessness. As soon as she crossed the finish line, the fierce look was replaced by her normal grin. The conquering general returning to his farm. Amazing. She's really amazing. I've never seen someone move that fast. Well, don't look at me. I'm far too relaxed to run that fast. No, I think Amy's prowess all came from her father's side. At the mention of Amy's father, Miss Ibarazaki looks wistful, almost sad. He got her into running, you know. Really? I didn't know that. I leave it at that and don't say anything for a little while. I get a feeling this is something personal I shouldn't ask about. A beeping noise suddenly emanates from Miss Ibarazaki's pocket. Reaching into it, she pulls out a cell phone and looks at it. Honestly, text messages? What is he, 16? Oh, no, nothing. I've got to go up with a friend of mine. Will you tell Amy I'm very proud of her and that I'd call her later tonight? Of course, of course. While waiting for the relay to start, I peer at Rin. She seems uninterested in her surroundings, myself included. That remark she made before is still stuck in my head. Amy's the most Amy when she runs. It just makes sense now that I think about it after seeing her run now. I can't believe that Amy gives her all on the track. When is Lynx at his lynxest? Or something. Sports are more than a hobby or even a competition to her. They are a defining aspect of her life. What about Rin then? Does she feel the same way about art? Considering the persistence she displayed before the festival, I could easily believe that. Did I see Rin at her Rinest? No, that does make sense. When she was painting the mural. The relay is about to begin, but I don't see Amy anywhere. I thought that Amy ran the relay. She runs Encore. So she won't be running for a while yet. Oh. Did you see it? Huh? Amy at her Amiest. Maybe. Maybe this time. The race begins, and I cheer Amy's teammates along as they pass the button. Finally, I see Amy sprinting on the track to take the final handoff. Once again, what was her name? Oh my god, why do I not remember? I mean, we've interacted with her so little that I don't remember her name. The one that's on the track. I think I had one there she is. No, that's not that one. I'm pretty sure we've had some miniatures with her, so I should know the name thanks to that. That's not that. That's not that as well. Did I? Miki! Oh, exactly, Miki. Her name was Miki. Anyway, she also deserves her root. Once again, I'm taken back by how graceful she looks when she runs. It really is beautiful. I mean, it would look great if it wasn't for the twin tails. I said this quite a few times. She looks better without the twin tails, okay? Thank you. The look of determination and fearlessness on her face only adds to the picture. Amy at her amiest, I suppose. And they finish in the same order as the previous race we've seen on the screens. Anywho, Amy flies across the finish line with a great leap, just barely ahead of the next runners but still in first. Well, let's go down. Gotta crown the victor. See if you can find a laurel branch. So, basically, in this route, because maybe, I don't know, thanks to the fact that we didn't attend running with Amy in the morning, seems like she's not having that sudden stutter at the run, right? Interesting. Anyway, that's not going to be easy. Or maybe we didn't notice that is all. Rin shrugs. At least we tried. Amy is surrounded by her teammates, all of them congratulating her on the run. Rin seems to be waiting for Amy to notice that she's arrived. It doesn't seem her style to draw attention to herself or to emote beyond shrugging. Being more impatient than Rin, I wave to Amy in her stead. She looks up and grins happily at us. Hey, you showed up! We would have brought you a crown of laurels, but Hisao didn't find one. Neither did you. It wasn't my job to look. When do we assign jobs? When I said, see if you can find a laurel branch. Try to keep up. I shrug. I guess Rin's rubbing off on me. Seems it's my fault after all, Amy. My fault. Amy laughs at Rin and me. It's okay! I'm sure you'll make it up to me somehow. Sure. Good! So, how'd I look? Very impressive. Amy seems pleased with the assessment. I don't mention how much more impressive her performance is given her lack of legs. I figure she knows that already. Besides, it seems like it would take away from her effort somehow. Great to hear! I was sorry that I looked a little slow on the relay, but I guess I did fine, huh? Amy giggles and then seems to remember something. Oh, before I forget! Rin and I are going to do something next Sunday as a post-track mix celebration. You should come along. Huh? Normally we do it the day after, but since today is Sunday, I've got homework and class and all that stuff to take care of. Sure, I'd love to. Great, it's a promise then. Pinky promise. Alright, your mom wanted to say she's proud of you. She'll call you later tonight. I thought I saw her in the stands. I'm glad she made it. Hey Amy, you're going to miss the medal ceremony. Oh yeah, thanks. She turns to Rin and myself. You don't have to stick around with this part. It takes forever. Besides, you should get cracking on homework now if you don't want to be up late, Hisao. Who said I'm not done with my homework already, for? Amy kicks back to her teammates, leaving me and Rin by ourselves. Neither of us has the slightest interest in the post-competition ceremony, so we silently get away and back to the quad. Rin yawns without even trying to restrain herself and shuffles her feet around restlessly. I feel awkward, but less so than if I was with someone else. Still, I'm left hanging, not knowing what I should say next. Amy was great, wasn't she? She was great. I am very jealous of her. Why? Like I said, don't you think it's great to be able to really be yourself? It sounds weird coming from Ren. I don't think you of all people should have trouble finding a way to express yourself. Don't you have your paintings? She turns to look at me. For the first time, I see in her eyes this strange, hollow expression that I think must be unique to her. No, you see, the problem is that I'm not really sure who I am. Huh? Yo, what's with the end of the scene? What was that about? What do you mean? Today's art club meeting is currently on hold while everyone waits for Nomiya to show up. I take this time to try and explain my theory about Yamaku Rin. What theory about what? What are you talking? You've been spending so much time with Kenji for sure, and you didn't even show us that? My disappointment right now. I've tried to figure out what exactly about the school feels so special to me. That concept I unsuccessfully tried to explain to Yuko the other day. It's still difficult, but the track meet and the time I spent observing my fellow students have helped my ideas mature a little. Just a bit. Have you noticed that people talk all the time? I can't really explain it, but once again, as I try to explain my observation, I'm struggling for words. Don't worry, man, I hate trying to explain something myself. The student body is heavily clicked, and I'm only now beginning to make sense of the intricate grouping and popularity networks. And yet the feeling of being a part of a group is stronger than I remember it being in my old schools. I'm trying to say that this school isn't like the other schools, or at least the students aren't even after discounting the obvious. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what you mean. Oh, well, whatever then. I want to pursue the issue, but at that point Nomiya arrives. The teacher is wiping sweat from his forehead with a handkerchief. I have known. Rather heavily, and breathing rather heavily. He quickly glances over the room, then settles down a bit. Hello! Apologies for being late. Is everyone present? Good. I must confess, I haven't really planned anything for today. Fuck. God damn it. You know that moment when you want to make some kind of voice and suddenly you are like, I am unable to do that? God damn it. As I have been extremely busy lately, but I'm sure we can come up with something entertaining. Anyone have any suggestions? I was thinking we could have a discussion circle since we haven't had one in a while. Yeah, I at least found the last one magnificently enjoyable. There are some murmurs here and there, but nobody raises their voice in a support or against the Nomiya. We could delve into various movements of art, or does someone have a good topic in mind? Come on, throw it out here. It doesn't matter if it's silly or not. We can always cook up something interesting. But I thought it was art club, not cooking club. That was not funny, I know. Nobody seems to be brave enough to make such a suggestion. As the awkward silence refuses to be broken, I lift my hand in the air. Oh, our newest friend seems to have something on his mind. Speak up, my boy, speak up. Well, I know about anyone else, but I always wondered why art exists in the first place. My voice stares off. A silence sets in the room, and nobody makes a follow-up on my meek suggestion. Then the teacher bursts in laughter. Excellent! Very good indeed. Right out the gate with the big one, huh? Fabulous! Chuckling, he shifts some papers around on his desk for a few moments. When he's done, he appears to have made some sort of decision.
Very well then, let us roll with this and see where it gets us, shall we?
What the heck?
Oh my, even an old fogey like me gets excited when such a delicious enthusiasm is present. Oh my, indeed. Let me gather my thoughts the moment I can figure out a good starting point for everyone.
For some reason, the teacher seems to be almost literally bursting with excitement. Could it be that, so far the meeting was like, yeah, I will drop you the idea and go on with it, and the supposed members of the club, the supposed members of the club were not so active about the topics and so on. I mean, then again, they might be there, we just want to draw, paint, and and do the art stuff. Anyway, did I read this already? I think I did. He strikes a pose, then freezes for an overly dramatic artistic pause that spans what must be half a minute. It's so quiet I could hear a pin drop.
First, let's come up with a few questions that we won't answer, such as, what is art, and why does art exist? It was a warm summer evening in ancient Greece or something. Anyone have any questions that might be related?
The boy with sunglasses pipes up almost immediately. His voice is soft and quiet, and I have a hard time making out what he says.
What defines an artist?
After him, another question comes up. If I fill a cardboard box with water and call it art, is it art? Everyone laughs at that, even the teacher.
Great, wonderful, all of this. Let me start by saying that this is not a clear-cut issue by any means, and such, I'm not going to give any answers to you. I'm going to speak from my own perspective. Scholars have argued about those sorts of questions since time immemorial, and there has never really been a broadly applicable consensus reached. There are, however, some qualities that most tend to generally agree upon. Hopefully you all should find this acceptable as well. In short, art defines itself. It simply cannot be contained to a definition from the outside, since the boundaries of art expand and contract from forces within. Every day, someone somewhere comes up with something completely outrageous that challenges any and all preconceptions.
Like pineapple on pizza? I mean, whatever. If you like it, just like it. I wouldn't be able to eat that, I think.
The core reason for this is that rather than the rational side of the mind, art appeals to the intuition, the instinct, the primal. You would find it very good to explain. Why exactly is it that you enjoy some particular style or piece? No?
He doesn't wait for a response before continuing.
That's exactly why. So, art is this sort of wide, uncontrollable thing that lurks somewhere deep in our subconscious. Now, why does it exist?
Nomiya promptly expects someone to pipe up with gas, but as nobody dares to interrupt his inspired speech, he continues.
It was a trick question. You see, art also validates itself. Generally speaking, you might say that art exists for no other purpose than itself. It's something that exists merely to leave a mark in history. It's the defiance of a mortal against the face of the darkness. As once was said, art is truly the proof of our existence. You all should know that human culture and civilization are tightly tied to the existence of art. Then, what about artists? What drives a man to dedicate his life to a thing so fickle and mysterious that it even defines definition? There are as many answers for this as there are artists, but if I had to put it into words, an artist does make art because he can, but because he must.
Nomiya takes a pause, and his gaze sweeps over his audience, eyes flaring with passion.
It is obvious that art touches the very soul of each and every human being in one way or another. So if you are given a chance to connect with your fellow man in such a fundamental way, how could you not? There is a poem I'm very much fond of, and I shall recite the most well-known part of it to you now. I feel that for me personally, of all possible things, it captures best the essence of what it means to be an artist.
Nomiya leans against the desk as he clears his throat in preparation. Looking at some distant place, he utters the words in the heavy afternoon air with his soft basso voice. Is the voice I'm giving him soft basso?
To see a world is a grain of sand, and a heaven in a white flower. Hold infinity in the palm of your hand, and eternity in an hour.
Very solemn and unbelievably awkward silence after he finishes reciting the short fragments. Nobody dares speak a word. Nomiya clears his throat again.
To be an artist is to see the world in a grain of sand. You see, dear children, without art, there would not be much to live in for this world. It is a most profound thing.
He's clearly touched by this notion. I almost expect to see a lone tear rolling down his rough cheek, but it never comes. I turned to read and whispered to her. So, how is this a discussion circle? She shrugs nonchalantly back at me.
The previous ones were the same.
To his credit, Nomiya does try to get some debate going, but the club seems to be reluctant to comply. I feel a bit guilty about opening my mouth. Maybe we would have been spared from this. I don't know, man. Maybe your club members, colleagues, I don't know how to call that. Other people that are basically with you in the club. Maybe they will see how passionate he is, and it will spark some passion in them as well, right? As the meeting comes to a close, I realize we haven't even touched any paint or pens today, and I feel somewhat disappointed. Nomiya suddenly appears next to us. He seems to be still fired up from the speech he delivered. His cologne smells musky and saccharine at the same time. Give me an instant headache. Oh boy, how much of that did you use? Even though I'm not sensitive to perfumes. I am. He's looking at Rin like a hungry wolf. I am sensitive to perfumes. I really am, unfortunately. And yeah, if you freaking overdo it, I will feel terrible. Okay, that doesn't make sense, but yeah. Like, I remember walking behind people who were basically leaving a freaking cloud of the smell of perfumes. And those, usually, actually now that I think about it, people who overuse perfumes, usually don't use perfumes that smell good. That's surprisingly a fact. I don't know why it's like that, but yeah. Anyway.
Tezuka, do you remember Miss Sayonji who visited us at the festival?
I think so.
I'm going to tell you something amazing. The thing is, she's a very well-known gallerist around here. It turns out I might be able to get her to consider having some of your work put on display.
He ends his sentence with a dramatic gesture. It seems he is expecting Rin to show some sort of joyous, shocked reaction at such grand news, but she just stares at him blankly.
Magnificent, ain't it? This could be a real chance for us to get ahead, girl.
But...
No, I know what you're about to say. Yes, it wouldn't be a simple affair, but I think this is an absolutely fantastic opportunity. Frankly, I wouldn't be surprised at all if we even made it big. This could be the first step, and then, when the word is out, we strike while the iron is hot. Right, Nakai?
Huh? Yeah, that sounds pretty good if you're into that kind of thing.
See? We should definitely not let this one pass, am I right?
I don't really...
Rin seems to be troubled for some reason. I can't figure out why. What Nomiya is saying does indeed sound like a possibly great thing. She looks pretty downfall and confused. I've never seen her like this.
So, what do you think?
Rin looks up to her teacher's glowing face, then back down her desk.
I'll think about it.
Huh. I think we might learn eventually about her situation. And I think this is like the first time we are touching that subject a little bit, kind of. Not directly, but I think we are getting there. Anyway, Nomiya is at least taken slightly back by Rin's lack of superlative delight. Then he smiles wildly at her and gently pats her head.
Good girl.
The club meeting is finally over, and as I lazily collect my things and help clean up, I start feeling exhausted for some reason. There is much to do, however, so it's over quickly. I mean, you would expect her lack of reaction and so on, but I feel like over here there was something behind it. I catch up to Rin, who left the club room just a moment earlier, so we're walking down the stairs to the ground floor while I try to go over Nomiya's passionate speech about art, and Rin seems to be lost in thought. Not an unusual state for her. I've learned that something about her expression makes me feel uneasy. Penny for your thoughts?
That'd be too cheap.
You're just overpricing your thoughts.
I wouldn't be able to sell them anyway. I'm not sure what I'm thinking yet. That'd be fraud too, like stealing candy from a baby.
That's theft, not fraud.
I have to think about what I think.
Is this about what they just said? Getting your work put on display and all of that? She doesn't answer, but stops in tracks as we reach the lobby. We are the only people around, so it's very quiet. Footsteps echo from a few floors up as someone hurries along the hallway.
I think I'm going to go somewhere elsewhere.
I think she's really troubled. Want company or... I can't promise much help with the thinking, but it's not like I have much else to do. And I'm supposed to do some light exercise.
If you like.
Rin leads me outside, to the wall behind the dormitories. There is a small back gate there, made from the same wrought iron as the main gate. It leads to the shadowy woodland park behind the school. The gate is rusty, as if it hasn't seen much use. However, it's open, so we pass through. It's not forbidden for students to leave the grounds, but somehow I feel a little uneasy. We haven't been here, by the way. A path leads deeper in the forest. Tall Zelkova and maple... What the frick is a Zelkova? Is it a tree? It's a bonsai tree? Seriously? Wait. Zelkova seriata. Japanese Zelkova is a species of the genus Zelkova native to Japan, Korea, China, Taiwan. It's often grown as a ornament tree and used in bonsai. There are two varieties. And so on. I mean, we could go on, but we will not. Anyway. And maple trees. I mean, I know those. Rustle the wind. Their canopies creating patches of chill air hanging in the places where the shadows fall. The forest smells strongly of earth. I almost feel cold, even though the midsummer day is as hot as ever. Rin trudges ahead like a sleepwalker, sure-footed but with no apparent destination in mind. Her thoughts seem to be somewhere else. I follow a few steps behind, taking more care to watch where my feet land. The path follows the land uphill at a low angle, sometimes making detours downhill before climbing back upward. The muted brown and grey trunks line the path on both sides, peppered with ferns and other undergrowth. After a little while, I start getting worried. The path is still wide clear, so there is no chance of getting lost, but it doesn't look like we have any particular destination. There is nothing wrong with a bit of aimless wandering around, but I don't want to go so far that I get too tired to walk back. I'm starting to get a little winded, my legs feel heavy. I want to stop and get the chance to catch my breath and rest my legs, but Rin keeps on going. Where are we going? Or are we going anywhere at all?
Worry tree.
I see. So what exactly is the worry tree?
It's just a tree. Like this.
She stops in front of a particularly large maple that might be, or might not be, the worry tree. Its large green leaves sway lightly in the breeze, blowing through the small clearing we entered. I guess that's much.
There are people who believe that you must come here to wallow in misery. If you are miserable only by people, I mean me, and the tree isn't really called anything.
So, if you're miserable, you talk to a tree about it.
No, what? You can't talk to trees. What do you think I am, crazy?
No, I didn't mean it like that.
Or maybe you talk to trees. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say you're crazy. Even though you probably are if you talk to trees.
Hey, it's okay talking to trees. That doesn't mean you're crazy. It's worse if you can hear the trees talking back to you, right?
I wouldn't recommend it in their case. People will think you are a weird person.
No,
Just forget it.
She looks mildly confused, for which I don't blame her at all. She tilts her head a little to the side, expressing melting back to her usual one.
Alright, I'm good at forgetting things.
Same, that's why I note everything down. Said Lynx, who never notes down when he's supposed to do something important while editing a video, right? And I forget, because I somehow manage to like skip past that certain place and never do that. Anyway, so are you here? Are you miserable then? I can't read the expression she makes. I hate how I bet I am interpreting Corinne's mood.
I mean, dude, you know each other for like 2, maybe 3 weeks. It's fine.
She doesn't answer right away, as if she herself isn't quite certain of her own mood. The blank stare changes to a more difficult expression as she shuffles her way around. Finally, coming to a conclusion, Rin shrugs her shoulders. I've grown to seriously dislike that gesture. It doesn't mean anything.
Maybe. I just feel kind of like I'm singing underwater. I know what I should do. I know where I should go, that's all. Maybe it's not a big deal, but I thought walking might help. Kind of like, if I go somewhere, I would know where I should go. I don't really know if it did. It really would have made sense if walking had helped to decide where to go.
So, you don't want to try to get an exhibition, or rather you don't know if you do? Can decide? Rin doesn't say anything for a while, arranging her thoughts in silence. The quiet is broken by birdsong from somewhere in the treetops, followed by the rustling leaves as the bird takes flight.
Maybe. I'm not sure if I can have a thing like that. So far I've only painted for myself.
Then continue doing it like that.
I don't think I could have my things on display the way I am now. This me couldn't do it.
Her reason sounds like a weak excuse. I make my trademark frown, but she does not sit. The trademark frown. We trained that for Shinji, by the way. Kenji, not she. What? Where did Shinji come from? Kenji. I don't get it. The teacher certainly thinks you could. I don't think he suggested otherwise. Sounds like he's calling in favors from his friends too.
I know. He's really done a lot for me. But this might be too much. Becoming someone who can do it might be pretty hard. Maybe I couldn't do it at all. He can do it for me and I've let him try. I'll just sink deeper and deeper.
Rin, I think he still enjoys helping you out with that, right? Rin stands in front of the large maple and turns away from me. I want to close the few feet of distance between us, and I don't know. My irritation is suddenly gone, and I start feeling sympathetic to her. I know exactly how we feel. Well, maybe I don't, but still. I think I haven't felt like I was actually in control of my own life this whole year. I'm just helplessly going along with the flow. Like, coming here to this school, I didn't really choose it myself, and I certainly didn't choose this time of my life to learn that I have, like, this condition, right? Still can't casually say the word aloud. It's like, yeah, it's like being underwater. Like I can't even breathe. Rin turns to face me again, a sad expression on her face.
Is that why you look so sad all the time? I don't want to look sad like you. Do I look to you like you look to me? I don't look sad all the time.
I just don't know what I should be feeling. What kind of face I should be making.
Me neither. Do I look sad now?
Not really. You look like you always do, I think.
But I'm sinking. I should try to float up like a rubber duck. Quack, quack, all yellow and creepy.
I had to think of a few seconds about which direction I should pursue in this conversation. Then I realized that it doesn't matter. You think rubber ducks are creepy?
You don't? I think they look very creepy. Everything that has eyes but isn't alive is very disturbing. Like rubber ducks and reflections in mirrors.
She plops down the forest bed, laying on the maple she named the worry tree. After worrying what to do for a minute, After wondering what to do for a minute, I sit down too, 3 feet apart from her. The forest envelops us in its embrace, and its stark stillness falls upon the two of us. We sit there without speaking for a long while. I can literally feel the time passing. Patches of sunlight litter the small clearing in a pattern that echoes the maple canopies. One of them falls directly on me, warming me all the way to the bone. I wonder what I could do for myself, and maybe for Rin. For now, I just keep watching her from the distance. Sometimes she cranes her neck all the way back, so much that it looks almost painful, and stares up at the small patch of sky visible past the canopy of the worry tree. Sometimes she just stares blankly ahead, as if seeing something just beyond her reach. She keeps whispering to herself, but so quiet that I can't hear her, even though I'm sitting right next to her. I only see her lips moving, like she was in the middle of a distant dream. I realize that right now, I no longer feel any of the intense loneliness I feel at night, just before falling asleep. I might be more like Rin than I thought. I can either give up and stay submerged under the wave of all the crap in my life, or try to change myself for the better. Her decision is different, yet the same. And unlike her, I know for sure that I can't stay like this forever. I have to change. Because I know a little bit of Emmy's, a little bit. We played her roots basically, so I know a little bit of I know of, how she is, right? I mean, I like the fact that Emmy's, she's capable of dealing with everything. In the end, even just on her own, but... let's say I want to be more like Rin. Let's go. Let's go! Rin could probably do it. Even though she seems to doubt herself, I have no doubts about her strength. She could do it, even if she can't. It makes me feel a little bit better though, and I lean back against the tree, breathing out deeply as if for the first time in a long time. We stay that way in a small clearing until the angle of the sun changes and the chilly shadow deepens. No longer warm where we sit, we leave the forest, returning along the same path we took coming in. It doesn't seem like Rin has come to a decision. I wonder if it was a bad idea for me to come along.
It's alright. I don't mind. I'm sure the trees and dirt and rocks won't mind either. Did you mind?
No, not at all. I think it helped me too. While we walk back towards the dormitories, the sky is changing to a deep ultramarine. The first summer stars twinkle softly from between spots in the canopy, barely visible like tiny fireflies. Actually, I think you would be able to see those stars very nicely there. I become very self-conscious about Rin's presence. I haven't thought much about girls since these things fell apart with Iwanako. Things never even started, man! I'm still claiming things never really started. This is kind of the same situation as then, but to be honest, I don't think it really counts for much. Not with Rin. And yet it feels good walking next to her, even if it isn't anything more than this. At first I think Rin agitated me quite a bit with her unpredictable behavior, but recently I feel like I haven't had to be on my toes so much. I managed to let myself go a little. It makes me feel satisfied, even though ultimately I think it's more thanks to Rin than myself. She seems to be disinterested in a huge number of things, but something in her makes me try harder than I normally would. It's not that I want to impress her. I think that truly impressing Rin would take near superhuman effort, just because of how she is. Instead, it's because there is this relentless feeling inside me that I shouldn't let Rin down. It's really weird. I wonder why I started thinking like that. I don't even know what sort of expectations she has about pretty much anything. So how could I let her down? Rin has this unassuming air around her, and she doesn't really talk about stuff very often. Even today's confession of her self-doubt caught me a little off guard. I feel like I want to talk more with her. Yeah? The realization suddenly dawns on me that Rin is basically the only person I talk to nowadays, apart from whatever I had to endure from Shizune, Misha, Kenji. I feel slightly depressed about that. In front of the dormitories, as if sounded by my dark thoughts, we run into Kenji himself. It feels very odd seeing him outside, breathing fresh outdoor air. At least it's already dusk. I partially expect Kenji would disintegrate upon direct exposure to the sun. Kenji himself seems very insecure as well, standing around looking like he's waiting for something, but doesn't know himself what it might be. Hey Kenji, what you doing?
Hello?
Who are you?
It's me, Hisao. I'm not sure if you know Tezuka from class 3-4. From his face, I can see that not only he does know Rin, he also can see her from this short distance.
Oh, sup dudes?
Kenji sticks his hand enthusiastically forward, almost straight into Rin's stomach. Rin looks at his own strange hand in confusion until Kenji clears his throat and retracts his hand. There is something almost cool that he manages to do with social awkwardness. It's not like I'm the most smooth man on the planet, but I don't think I'll ever be able to even approach Kenji's level. I think I respect Kenji a little bit more. So, you're waiting for someone? He leans closer and lowers his voice to an agitated whisper. I see his facial muscles twitching.
Come on, man. You know I can talk about stuff here in public. They might be listening. I'm going to have to go pick up some stuff from somewhere. And I don't want those stupid student council hacks to get on my case. Also, I don't trust your friend. Nothing personal. Are you sure he's trustworthy?
I briefly considered telling Kenji about Rin's gender, but as it might end up badly for one or both of them, I decided against it. Yeah, I'm sure she's trustworthy. He turns from me to Rin, and I immediately get the feeling that I have to prevent them from talking to each other with whatever means necessary. However, there's little I can do now, apart from physical violence.
In that case, would you be interested in knowing about the worst threat to mankind since they invented vegetarianism?
He sounds like vacuum cleaner salesman.
I thought it was Sunday.
I see, you're not in the know? Yeah, man, I'm talking about man-eating cows here. Very few people know what I know, so I'm not surprised. We can't talk here, but if you'd like a pamphlet, come to my room after curfew on Mondays or Wednesdays.
What? You have pamphlets? Wow. He suddenly reaches to his pocket and draws out a ballpoint pen and what looks like a convenience store receipt. Kenji furiously scribbles on the scrap of paper and then thrusts it towards Rin.
Here is the password. Memorize it and then eradicate any trace of this document. Eat it, burn it, dissolve it, erase it, whatever.
I take the receipt from Kenji as Rin is unable to do so, and glance at it. It is indeed a receipt, apparently for 2 rice balls and 5 boxes of matches. Why? I hope he is not planning to burn anything down. Yeah. On the other side is written just one word. Honey muffin. I show it to Rin too, but she shows no reaction.
Thank you.
Yo, Hisao, you still in that club? The Club of Dark Arts?
Fine art. Anyway, yeah, actually just had a meeting today.
Still got your wits about you, huh? No shady bite tricks going on, nothing personal, man, but I have to be on top of things. Can't get with my pants down. Speaking of which, you should really take shower a bit later. Gotta respect that personal space. Nothing personal.
Okay. Kenji looks around as if he heard something and then straightens his jacket.
Okay, I gotta scoot now before it gets late. Later, dudes. Good luck.
Kenji takes rapidly towards the main gate. Rin looks after him, frowning. We watch after Kenji's diminishing figure in silence.
What's wrong with him?
Technically speaking, I think he's legally blind.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I mean, we technically don't know, but he probably is, right? Anyway, let's end the episode here. We'll continue. Oh my god, my ears. We'll continue tomorrow, of course. For now, hope you enjoyed. Hope you have a wonderful day. And yeah, that's about it. And at night, I think I will sit up because it's Friday. Friday night. That's right. Friday night. Which means I'll probably sit. Wow. It's so weird actually speaking and hearing yourself while recording without the headphones on. It's so much different. Yeah, I think I'll record some more of those free games that I decided, yeah, let's just drop them on the channel again. Why not, right? A little bit of a change. I mean, then again, I just do whatever I feel like doing. We'll get to Enigma soon after I'm done with Katawa Shoujo. Anyway, see you tomorrow. Bye bye.